Hi everybody, thank you so much for having me. It's a real pleasure to be here. I'm looking forward to taking you through an introduction to TikTok and a bit of an overview of how universities can start showing up on the platform and reaching that next generation. I'm going to take you through an introduction to TikTok, a little bit about the audience on the platform, the ad products that we offer at TikTok, some top tips for creative, followed by some case studies, and then finally some questions at the end. So, an introduction. I like to start these sessions with a bit of a Q&A typically, and I will ask everyone in the virtual room kind of what their experience is with TikTok. Are they on the platform at the moment? Do they have the app? Obviously, we can't do that today. However, I do know there's a lot of universities already leveraging TikTok, whether that's with an organic channel or with paid or with a mixture of both. However, I'm sure there's a lot of you who are joining today who aren't familiar with TikTok. So this will be all new for you, hopefully. And one thing I did really want to highlight is that we've come a long way in the last 2 years in terms of the diversity of the content that's on the platform. So 2 years ago, we were very much focused on lip syncing and dancing. And for those of you who maybe haven't been on the platform recently, that might still be kind of your impression of TikTok. However, wanted to highlight on this kind of summary slide a bit of an overview of kind of how far we've come in terms of the variety of content that you would find on the platform. And this is kind of from a bit of an educational spin, just kind of some of the snippets that you might find on TikTok at the moment. And being from TikTok, I'm obviously going to recommend that for those of you who don't have the app, definitely download it if you can, if you have some time later this week, and have a little bit of a play around, because I hope you'll be pleasantly surprised that there's content for everyone, whatever your age, whatever your interest, whatever your background. Hopefully you'll find some entertaining content on the platform. So I can't kick off an introduction to TikTok without touching on our mission statement. And our mission at TikTok is to inspire creativity and bring joy. And that's what we keep at the core of everything we do here at TikTok. And I think that's why our community absolutely love the platform, and they definitely keep coming back for more. But if you did need to summarize what we were in one sentence, you have it here. We are that leading destination for short form mobile video. And that's really how we position ourselves in the market. We see ourselves as an entertainment platform versus a social platform. And what's fantastic is that 80% of our audience agree that TikTok is the most entertaining platform there is. And also 46% of our users say they come here to discover new things. And that's what TikTok is all about. It's about that discovering of new things. It's about the content that powers the platform. And everyone's experience on TikTok is different. So if you're interested in sport, you're going to see sports content. If you're interested in travel, you're going to see travel content, and so on and so forth. And that's because the algorithm that powers TikTok is a content graph versus a social graph. So it's powered by the content you're interacting with versus who you're following on the platform, which means that everyone does have that personalized experience in app. That should have been that slide. And that means it makes it a really unique experience for everyone on the platform, whether that's brands or users. And it gives brands or universities a real opportunity to have that conversation with the community, because everyone has the potential to go viral on TikTok. Because we're that content focus versus that social focus, you don't need loads of followers on TikTok to show up on the platform. It's much more about the content that you're creating on the app. And we go into a bit more detail in that later in the deck about how some kind of top tips for creating that content as well. So last slide in terms of an introduction, and this is just a summary of the types of content that you might see today on TikTok. So for those of you who haven't checked us out, I'd definitely say have a little look around the platform and see the diversity of content on there. So moving on to the audience and who's on the platform right now. And what's great is that we've grown massively in the last year. So we now in Europe have over 100 million active users, which is fantastic. And not only that, but they have some really great things to say about TikTok. So our community, 75% say that it's a platform where they can go to openly express themselves. And our community also really values authenticity as well, whether that's from brands or creators. And we can talk about that a bit more later in this presentation. So, ad products. As I mentioned up front, I know there's quite a few universities on TikTok already, and they have organic profiles. But today, what we really wanted to kind of give you a little bit of insight into are our ad products. And they very much stand alone from organic. So as a university, you can have an organic profile, you can run paid, or you can do a mixture of both. So they're quite independent of each other. So we essentially have 4 individual ad products at TikTok, and I'm going to talk you through them on the next slide with some nice live examples. So on the left-hand side, we have what we kind of call our standard ads almost. We have our top view and we have our Infeed product. So the top view is essentially a one-day sponsorship of TikTok. So every user in the market will see your video as the first video when they open their app. So in terms of mass reach, mass awareness, it's the perfect product. If you want to run on A-level results day, for example, and have an announcement about your university, then that's going to be perfect. You're going to reach every person in the country on that day. So it's 100% share of voice, it's full screen, it's sound on, so you have the opportunity to be fully immersive when you're talking to the user base as well. However, understand that's not going to be for everyone. You're not all going to want to reach every person in the United Kingdom, for example. That's where Infeed comes in. So Infeed is really our most native ad product. So this appears within what we call a users for you feed. So that's that feed of content that's often content from users, content from brands. Some of it will be organic and some will be paid, and that's the Infeed. So it fits really nicely within the app, and also it gives you the complete flexibility. So if flexibility when it comes to targeting, when it comes to optimizations, and when it comes to budget as well. So you can test and learn with different creatives all within the ads platform, so you have full control over all delivery at your fingertips. So definitely I would say the perfect place to start if you're looking to kind of dip your toe into TikTok ad products. And then on the right-hand side, we have our hashtag challenge and our branded effect. And we consider these kind of the content products on TikTok. So for those of you who are familiar with the platform, you might also be quite familiar with our hashtag challenge. It's quite unique to TikTok. So the hashtag challenge is set by a brand, and it's encouraging the community to create content for that challenge. So it's all about UGC, it's all about co-creation and mass participation. This is an example we have here from ASOS, obviously kind of out of category, but just a really fun hashtag challenge that they ran recently. They had their own unique track, and it was encouraging people to what we call kind of transition into their kind of ASOS clothing. So I'm hoping this example will play now and you'll get an idea of what I mean.
Show me your ASOS. Drip, drip. Give me that beat sauce. Yeah. I wanna see your sea sauce. See me drip. You know I be dripping all the time in my ASOS.
So a nice example of how ASOS set up their hashtag challenge and encourage the community to take part. And then finally here we have our branded effect. So again, for those of you who are on TikTok, you'll probably realize, or maybe yourself, you're already using effects because they are huge on TikTok. So effects can be triggered by facial movements or by hand gestures. And a branded effect is where a brand kind of owns that. So by users kind of playing around with the effect, they're also spending more time with your brand as well. And this example here is from ActionAid, and it ran in Italy in November last year for the International Day to end violence against women in the country. And it was highlighting a story that came out in March last year in Italy when lockdown just began, when a lady, to get away from her abusive husband, had to pretend she was calling for a pizza when she was actually calling the police for help. And what ActionAid wanted to highlight was the huge drop in support for women's shelters in the country. And they did this in a really unique way with that branded effect on TikTok. And Targeting. So I'm going to go now into a little bit more detail around what you can do with that Infeed product. So the product that gives you the most flexibility on TikTok. So we have a whole range of targeting that you can layer on. So if you're looking to reach a certain age group, a certain interest group, that's definitely something you can layer on that Infeed ad. And we can also build custom audience, lookalike models. We can retarget other products on TikTok, and we can also retarget from your website as well. So it gives you so much flexibility there. Another option that we recently released as kind of an additional layer to Infeed is lead generation, our lead generation capabilities. So now within Infeed, you can include a lead gen form and encourage your target audience to sign up to an open day, for example. And it's something that some universities have started to test out on the platform. So a great opportunity if you were to test Infeed and you wanted to kind of have a little bit of play around with the opportunities on TikTok. Potentially one, if you're encouraging users to sign up to an open day, definitely something to leverage. You're not losing users outside of the app because everything is within the app, and then you can download those leads within the platform as well. And also, we give you the opportunity to boost your organic content with that Infeed product. So again, I mentioned you don't have to have an organic account to run paid. It takes a bit of resource, right, to build that organic profile on TikTok, and we really understand that. But for those of you who are interested in building an organic presence as well as paid, the ability to amplify that organic content really helps you bridge that gap. So if you have some fantastic organic content on your account, this example here is from Bath, you have the opportunity to put a little bit of paid budget behind it and make sure you're reaching your age group, your interest group in your market within the platform. So that's definitely a nice opportunity for some of you. And then finally, taking you through our new engagement objective. Again, an option if you want to bridge that gap between organic and paid. Our new engagement objective allows you to optimize towards new followers within your organic account. So again, helps you kind of leverage paid to also power your organic presence in app as well. So moving on, some top tips when it comes to creating for TikTok. So I understand that we're still a really new platform on TikTok, and for me to sit here and say, oh, you should put all your resources in kind of building content for TikTok, that's a huge ask. But I also don't want to put people off by obviously we talk about TikTok being a really different platform, but it is really easy to create fun, engaging content for TikTok. So hopefully the next couple of slides will give you some kind of thought starters around how to do that. So a few things to highlight here to think about is that we are completely mobile first. You can only really access TikTok on your mobile phone. Every video is going to be full screen. It's going to be sound on. It's going to encourage engagement and participation. So things to kind of keep in mind as you're planning out your strategy for TikTok. And then some top tips to kind of really hone in on some ideas of how to show up on the platform. So firstly, tapping the talent. So everyone can be a creator on TikTok. Everyone can produce content for the app. And when we talk to brands outside of the educational space, we offer our creator marketplace. So TikTok's creator marketplace has thousands of top creators that you can filter on topic or age or market, and you can brief them within app and ask them to create content for your campaign, for your organic, for your paid. However, as for universities, you have that resource on your doorstep. I imagine a lot of the students at your universities, at your schools, are already active on TikTok. They're probably already creating some really great content. So I would definitely recommend, if you haven't already, have that discussion with your own community at the university and see who's already creating content. Can they do that for your university as well? I think Bath is a really great example of their organic account. It's really you can tell it's really led by students at the school. And then embracing the trends. So again, if you haven't had a little play around on TikTok, I would definitely encourage you to do so. You'll see straight away there's themes and there's trends, and they change like weekly on a monthly basis. But I imagine there's definitely a lot of kind of trends that you might be able to jump on board as a university, and that can kind of power your content strategy. And being able to replicate kind of what makes sense for your university is definitely kind of a great way to really fit into TikTok. One of our kind of phrases at TikTok is standing out is all about fitting in. So if you can kind of leverage some trends, if you can work with creators and work with students, definitely a great way to make your content really feel authentic to the platform. And then also, that's it, right? Making it authentic, keeping it real, being able to kind of have a little bit of fun. Showing up on TikTok might be you might be showing off on TikTok in a different way than you are on other kind of more social platforms. So definitely something to kind of think about when you're starting your TikTok journey. And then really key things that I touched on a couple of slides back, but the fact that every video on TikTok is watched with full screen. So you've got so much you can do there when it comes to making immersive content. Use that full screen. Also, everything is sound on. Every video is watched with the sound on. So definitely something to consider that you might not be thinking about when you're showing up on other platforms. And when we talk about sound, we don't just mean music tracks. Like, think about voiceovers, think about sound effects, think about noises. We also, when it does come to music tracks, we have what we call our commercial music library. So with thousands of tracks with their rights already approved for use by brands, by institutions, that you can access where all the rights are already available. For free, and you can access that in-app, or you can access that via the ads platform as well. And then finally, about keeping it concise, keeping it short and sweet. We're a video platform. You can create video content up to 60 seconds long, but we would definitely say the sweet spot is between like 15 and 20 seconds when you're creating your content. And that goes to that is relevant for organic content and paid content as well. So think about kind of getting one message across in each video. And then finally, being able to create content in app, I think is really something really powerful that TikTok offers. We have market leading video tools in the platform. So again, if you haven't had a play around, have a look at those video tools. It's really easy to trim content, to add those effects we mentioned, to add music or sound, and really jump on the trends. And you don't need those big production budgets for TikTok. It's about creating the content in the app to make it feel authentic, to make it feel native to TikTok. And again, that applies to your organic content if you were building an organic profile, and your paid content as well. So I hope that was a helpful kind of insight into how you might want to start showing up on TikTok. And then finally, I'm just going to run you through a few case studies that are also all available on our website. So firstly, Lancaster University, they've done a great job at leveraging student ambassadors for their campaigns. So this is one case study example, a really nice one. They delivered over 10 million impressions, 9 million engagements, and over 90,000 clicks. So you can see the audience is really leaned in. They want to engage with your content. And a really nice quote there from the marketing coordinator as well. And I think this video should play. Oh, maybe not. But you can definitely get them on our website as well, and I can provide some links. But that's a really nice one from Lancaster. Moving on, we've got Newcastle, similar campaign in terms of working with student ambassadors, also running Infeed, same as Lancaster, just over a slightly smaller campaign, over 1 million impressions, 7,000 clicks, 12,000 likes. Again, there's quite a lot of detail there in terms of text. I don't think this one is going to play either, but another nice example of how universities are showing up. And then finally, from me is Strathclyde, another really nice example. You can see there the kind of text over the video. I definitely recommend kind of having a little watch and seeing just how easy it is to create that content on your phone, add some text over the top and make it feel really kind of TikTok fast. So similar number of impressions, just under 1.5 million, 14,000 clicks, and in terms of cost per click, we were at 9 pence. And that, in terms of my kind of quick summary of TikTok, is it. But I think now we are going to go to questions. So TikTok has potential from a student as producers and communication of skills angle, but legislation, GDPR and IP concerns are a barrier to using an open platform for teaching and assessment. Could universities get a closed TikTok, a safe place for? So that's not something we offer at the moment, but I think, I guess, to highlight the fact that we're really, the changes and the developments that we have at TikTok are going so quickly. So it's definitely something that we might have in the future. So definitely stay tuned. And if you don't already have a TikTok rep, you can connect with someone via the website as well, and they can kind of keep you up to date with all the news. Next question, how do you feel that the strategy TikTok is using for consumer acquisition can support university enrollment strategies? If possible, what areas of the platform would be most effective to use? So in terms of our kind of customer acquisition to TikTok, I think what we're really focused on, again, is back to diversity, right? We're doing a lot in market around our Learn on TikTok, where we've worked with charities and educational bodies to really create content, new content for TikTok, and kind of broaden what we have in app. And I think that's definitely something that would also appeal to university students. And I think we've seen like the growth in app across the last year. And I think that's really powered by the fact that there is content for everyone on TikTok. And we're also conscious of audiences that we don't have on TikTok. Like, we're sponsoring the Euros this year, and that's another way we're kind of moving into the sports space as well, which isn't something we've focused on so much before. So we're continuing to really kind of grow in all areas. I think in terms of university students, I think we have such a huge leaned in audience already in that demographic in app. And in terms of what areas of the platform would be most effective to use, I think being able to show up in that For You feed. So again, for those of you who have the app, the core of TikTok is really that scroll of content. And you have the ability, if you're creating organic content, to show up there. That's where people always spend, I think that the stat is like people spend 75% of their time just on that kind of homepage, that feed. So if you're creating great organic content, you're going to show up there. But being able to run like small budgets behind the Infeed ad, that guarantees you're showing up within that kind of native feed as well. So I would say that's definitely kind of the area of the platform that's most effective, the ability to show up there and start that conversation with the community as well. How do you see TikTok UGC efforts helping create an engagement strategy for educational institutions? So again, I think the TikTok is all about content creation and UGC. And I think being able to work with students at your university is really powerful, to have that conversation with other kind of like-minded people who maybe haven't enrolled in university yet. I think that's the most powerful way to use the app, and the fact that people want to jump on board, they want to help co-create content as well. And in terms of engagement metrics, you saw kind of from those examples that naturally the audience is really leaned in, and because it's that like content graph, they want to see really great content. And typically when you're working with creators, when you're making your content feel kind of user generated, creator generated, the audience is more likely to engage with that as well. So I think in terms of an engagement strategy, definitely kind of working with creators who are potentially already at your university would be my kind of recommendation. Are you familiar with the percentage of higher education marketers who are currently on TikTok? What is the typical age profile? Oh, so are you familiar? There are definitely, I can share later some of the universities who are already on the platform. I think if you search user in the user box on TikTok and put in university, you'll see kind of all the verified accounts that are already showing up on the platform. So yeah, definitely kind of have a little explore, have a little look around. And those case studies as well. So some universities are kind of showing up as paid versus organic, and some are doing a bit of both. So I think just kind of playing around in app and seeing what sort of content you can find in the search bar is definitely kind of a way to sort of understand what other universities are doing, and kind of maybe leverage some of the content that they're producing and kind of recreate that, if that makes sense for your university as well. How is the TikTok platform relevant for adult learners? I can see relevance for Gen Z. What about 35 plus? So yeah, again, back to the fact that we've really kind of grown our community, right? So we have that 100 million users across Europe. And I think if you want more specific numbers, you can definitely reach out to your rep. And I think you'll be really surprised about how we have aged up. And for those of you, so the question was about people who are over 35. I don't know how many people are on the call who might be over 35. Have a little look on the app and you'll start to see content that is relevant for you. And I think for those of you who aren't familiar, as I said at the beginning, I think you'll be surprised by the variety of content that is on the platform that is of interest to you. And I think that's really powerful. And although we kind of had the first adopters jump on TikTok, it's definitely broadened out. And with lockdown that we've had across the last year, people have brought in their parents, they brought in their grandparents, they brought in their kids or their housemates, and that's just seen the app evolve massively, which has been really powerful. So I think you'll be surprised. And also with that targeting that we touched on, if you want to only reach users who are 35 plus, you can layer on targeting, and you can do that. So you can make sure that you're not wasting any of your impressions or any of your ad budget as well. Outside the UK, what is the profile of TikTok users in other countries? International recruitment professionals are keen to know what reach there might be in other key markets. So again, I would reach out to a rep and they can give you kind of market specific numbers. But again, that 100 million across Europe, we've just opened kind of offices in the Nordics. We're really kind of expanding across Europe in terms of specific dedicated teams in market. And with that, we're going to see that audience grow as well. So again, I'd reach out for kind of specific numbers if you're looking for those. What are the rules surrounding music in app? Oh, this is a really great question. We would like to engage with trends, but concerned about potential copyright breach. So really great question. I touched on it very briefly in the presentation, that we have that commercial music library, so that you can access in app, or you can access it as via the ads platform. So it's thousands of tracks that are pre-approved, and you don't have to worry about breaching any copyright or anything like that. So you can really be rest assured. If you have any confusion about kind of how to access that, I can definitely help as well. But on top of that, I think you'll maybe notice if you start to use the app that a lot of trends jump on what we call original sounds or voiceovers, and things like that aren't associated with copyrights. They're not owned by Universal or Sony or anything like that. And sometimes they're the most organic native trends that could be relevant. So definitely something to think about. And if you had an organic profile and you wanted to jump on trends, the app will stop you. If you have a business account, the app will stop you using any music that is copyrighted, that you're not allowed to use. So you can kind of rest assured that you're not going to get in any trouble, provided you're accessing the app as a business account. Again, any questions on that, please let me know, because I know music is a bit of a minefield. But yeah, we really want to help, because we know, being sound on, music is a really important part of the experience on TikTok. Can you easily manage more than one account and schedule posts? So we don't have post scheduling APIs at the moment, but that is something that's coming, hopefully, in the next couple of months. We should have some partnerships to announce in terms of social platforms that are able to schedule organic posts. And in terms of managing more than one account, so in an organic sense on TikTok, everything is managed in app on your phone. And again, hopefully we'll have some partnerships to announce soon, where you can maybe manage more than one organic account more easily on a kind of desktop with a desktop platform. But in terms of managing ads, that's really easy. That's within our ads manager, and you can have different ad accounts for all the universities you're looking after, and you can provide access to different agencies, different people, different stakeholders as well, and you can manage that all within desktop within that ads manager. And I think that's all we have time for. But please reach out if anyone has any additional questions. I hope this was helpful.